I know. I was just continuing another log report this morning over here. I was watching something concerning about Harry and Williams, Prince William and Prince Harry, or Harry and Prince William, England having issues. It's 6:57 at night. It's still the 16th of January 2023. It's still Monday, and listening to all of this is nuts. I never, no, I hadn't tried to keep up or an extended interest concerning about how Great Britain or England is having issues with the Royals that badly. I hadn't been, well, I'm an American. What can I expect? I'm a Yank. I've been hearing over the pond, dealing with our own political agendas, political issues, and everybody else going crazy left and right. And the thing of it is, concerning about what England's been going through, they want to have continuity. The thing that they built themselves on all the time was continuity. Continuity of family, of traditions, of values to carry on. Even though they still had new things happening left and right, they still wanted a form of old England, of old Britain, that made them who and what they are. Continuity. Some traditions and other things that other people are looking at saying, why? Because this is what made England England. For centuries they built it up with the royalty, with everything that they've grown accustomed to. Newer generations kept looking at the older customs and traditions and just said, no, we're not dealing with this. And some of the younger generations wants to carry on, but they can't. They can't carry on. The older generation's getting sick and tired of it, and some of them actually do. It's a split in this country between party lines and age groups and generations at this point, whether or not they actually do want to keep the traditions alive in our country. Now, if we happen to do the same thing over here, we're still having problems with our own, with the political parties and everybody and the generations going on. I think England was supposed to be special at this point. They were an expanding empire, and now they're shrunken down to themselves, basically. I mean, yeah, there's Australia and there's Canada and maybe a couple others, but they still have their own countries. But they still allegiance to England. They still have prime ministers in England. They still have prime ministers in New Zealand and Australia and maybe a few others. But seeing how the family dynamics are driving themselves crazy and breaking things down left and right, it's insane. I understand concerning about the split in the family. I really do. I mean, a split in the family is hard enough to deal with, especially when you're the black sheep. Misunderstandings, miscommunications, and a lot of screwed up intentions. Doesn't matter where. Either we have the blame or we don't have the blame. Doesn't matter. We're still having it, and sides are nuked. I tried offering an olive branch if I could, but it's still not there for some of the family anyway. I like to have been part of the Cameron family if I could have. It would have been nice to hear from them, but they never talked to me ever. So I'm struggling with what I've got right now as it is. I'm a solo act about to be killed off by life or time or by death or by something. I don't know. So whatever information I have concerning about the family, about our screw ups, about our mess ups left and right, it dies with me. Except if I have to put it on the videotapes, and if I'm going to be doing the finger pointing left and right and saying it's all your fault, and I put the blame on you and I put all the anger on you, is that going to help much? Because the regrets will still be over there and it'll still be driving them crazy, but they'll bury it alive and still won't care until reconciliation upstairs, and then everybody else is going to be pissed off at each other. Still, I don't know how the hell we're going to be able to deal with this shit with the family. I'm the last of the black sheep. I wanted reconciliation. Can't seem to get it. They don't want to talk to me. Nobody else knows I'm still alive. And they all kept it that way. If there would have been a final message to the family, wasted too many years. Wasted too many years. Or we were passed on, we're going to be passing on with a hell of a lot of regrets and a lot of anger, a lot of resentment we didn't want to deal with. So finally, you're going to have to be confronted personally about it and then talk about it, and then you're really going to be embarrassed about it. So am I. Well, we have to look at ourselves and then look at the truth of what happened. Look at an entire life. What screwed up, what didn't get screwed up, what was the decisions we made, and was it well worth it? And I hate to tell you this, but we're getting ourselves more and more screwed up these days. And the clock's counting down. We're going to be losing a lot of things that meant a damn thing to us. Family is everything to me. And when one member is attacked, get defensive. Or a perceived attack. It's still frustrating as hell. So now, I'm coping with what is and what isn't. I will have to square it away with the boss man upstairs when it's my time. And I'll be talking to him, and he'll be giving me the correct scoop on this one. Whether or not have I actually really goofed up or not. I know it gives me a sense of right and wrong at this point over here. And I try to throw an olive branch at this point over here, but nobody wants to take it because they don't want to have the memories. Live and let live, and just let it be buried alive like the worm it is. So let the resentment keep clouding over our judgment, our hearts, our minds, and everything else we have. We'll be building up so many regrets we don't even realize until we get to the other side, and then will it be too late for reconciliation? We get drop kicked or we get shoved aside. In this life, we have but one chance. We blow it, that's it. We can pray for forgiveness left and right of the Almighty Father. That's one thing, but we still owe it to ourselves and our future generations. But are we willing to take that leap? Are we willing to put bygones away? We could talk about such things, but I know everybody's going to be looking for they're looking for the defensive base at this point over here to launch attacks one way or another. We're so used to it, we're not even aware of it. I didn't have to take years of classes in psychology for that to understand it more and more. I understand how important family is. The only question is, do the other side understand it more and more? Or do they actually not care? Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is hell. I know somewhere in the Bible, and Shakespeare probably quoted it somewhere in there somewhere in his plays. Knowledge increases sorrow. Maybe because the knowledge we get right now is the regrets that we carry with us, the things we could have solved, things we could have lived with, things we could have enjoyed, people that mattered the most in our lives or could have mattered the most. But we didn't. We didn't care. We didn't care because didn't have that empathy or humanity left in us. So easy to put the finger on the people and on the subjects and piss them off left and right. Here's the question: who does it hurt more? Who does it help? We carry on the damn anger and the resentments generation after generation. It's like doing the Hatfields and McCoys. When is it enough regarding the hatred between members of family? When is it enough? When do we start talking without trying to kill each other? Information off of one may be skewed. There are many sides to a story. If we're only stuck with our own point of view, that's about it. We can't be open for anything else because we are stuck. Therapist, my ass. I tried to tell you that. Try to make amends as much as possible because it might help your peace of mind. They even say something about that in the 12-step meetings that I'd gone to. But here's the thing, they kept talking about amends at this point. I could try offering the hand of amends, but if they don't accept, the only thing I could do is pray for them. If there is no opportunity to make amends, the only thing I can do for those is pray for them. And live with the regret. Live with the resentment. Or actually, I can tell the higher power and say, look, it's in your hands, not mine. You bless them like crazy, you deal with them like crazy, and hope to God they don't have the resentments built into their future genes. Because it's going to kill them one day. It'll kill them all. One way or another, the damn disease will come up and bite them in the ass. It has done so for mine. Did so with Mama, one way or another. I also did so with my brother. We hardly ever talked about Raymond or Chris, our cousins out in San Diego. We hardly ever talked about the girls we had. Georgia we had talked to a long while ago. I'll keep in contact with her on Facebook from time to time. But the other Cameron clan we had out there in Colorado and Utah, they just never bothered to contact. But they're still on Facebook. I just wish we had more time. I could have contacted them and just... I'll try to send out a link if they'll accept it. So many things that we should have talked about a long time ago. And I also noticed some of the cousins I've had kept visiting different places, but they don't come over here to home. But I'll tell you one thing, right now, physically, the place is not ready for visitors at all. It's just for one person, me. Dealing with a bug war and dealing with resentments left and right and depression left and right. Nobody wants to deal with a schmuck like me right now. Nobody. It's not that I point the finger of blame and resentment and keep telling the people it's all your fault because I'm in a situation. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that There had been a lot of mistakes made back then, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger that never was taken care of, never was, never resolved. I regret the time wasted that I probably never will get it resolved. And I probably speak on behalf of myself, but also on Ma and Dave. They're not here. Ma loved them both. Ma loved them all. I didn't harbor any resentments. No, Dave and I did. But he's gone, and I'm here. I'm still living. I don't want the Hatfields and McCoy situation continuing. I'd like to make peace at this point and break bread if I could. Instead, right now, I'm just throwing the damn bread in the toaster and watching it turn into carbon. Ain't edible, I'll tell you that much. No. The only thing I can do for the family is pray for them all. God's mercy to be upon them. I'm not calling down the thunder. I'm not going to do anything like that. I still have to deal with my own damn existence happening right now as it is. Yeah, I do value family, and family has its own dynamics. And we have our own issues left and right. Well, if we can't get them resolved, what the hell are we then? Ain't family. We're a bunch of strangers to each other. I don't care if we know each other by name, we're still strangers. Every one of us. And it just doesn't take one person to do it. It takes a whole neighborhood of them. Yeah. I call this one resentment sucks. I'll probably do that one.